was the changing rooms for an old outdoor bathing pool. The bathing pool was taken away in the 1960s. The changing rooms are still there but not used. Coming on your left side, the first house, just here to your left, this is where he was born and brought up, a chap by the name of William McEwen. William McEwen. You've probably never heard of him, but you have heard about him, yes. Sorry, microphone switched off there. William McEwen later to become Dr. McEwen, then Sir William McEwen. He practiced in the old Royal Infirmary in Glasgow, and he was the doctor who pioneered brain surgery. The first doctor to graft a brain. Now he was very friendly with a Glasgow doctor called Joseph Lister. Joseph Lister, who introduced antiseptic carbolic. Every morning Dr. McEwen would go into the washroom, wash himself down in antiseptics, scrubbing his hands and nails. While he was doing that, the other doctors were laughing at him for what he was doing. Dr. McEwen had the last laugh. The doctors laughing. Their patients were dying shortly after surgery from septicemia, blood poisoning. Dr. McEwen's patients are back. Dr. William McEwen, he is buried on the island at the south end. This area is called Ardbeg. They opened up the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow 2014 with the Queen. It was Sir Robert who closed the games. He is a Glasgow man. He came from Maryhill, where he's taken his title from. Today he's known as Lord Smith of Kelvin. Kelvindale, where he's from. Last year he put the island on the market. The whole island, the 2 working farms, along with a 5-bedroom deluxe house, all en suite. The house is on this island, not the Inchmarnock. There's the house out the front, straight in front. It looks like a big white creamy house with a black roof. The whole lot on the market, £2 million. Last Monday, sold. £2.5 million. Who bought it? Lord Bute. The Marquess of Bute has bought it back after his grandfather selling it. Yeah? Why he's bought it, no idea. Away over to your right is the largest sea loch in Britain. That's Loch Fyne. Loch Fyne, F-Y-N-E, 34 miles long. Down to the right, a couple of houses on a small peninsula. That's the Strad. So you can see you can't turn the bus down there. That little bay beside the houses is called St. Ninian's Bay. St. Ninian was a monk who came from Ireland, and it was St. Ninian who brought Christianity to Scotland the early 4th century. Looking out the front, you see the mountains away in the distance. That is the largest of all the islands on the Firth of Clyde. That is the island of Arran. Arran is a much bigger island than this island, over 3 times the size. There is not as many people on Arran as here. This island has 7,500. Arran, 4,000. The main town is called Brodick, quite small. To get to Arran, we get a ferry in the Ayrshire town of Rosslyn. highest part of Arran. If it's night, it's a bit misty. Right at the top, that's you looking right up towards the Kintyre Peninsula. The Kintyre Peninsula. Right at the top there, right round to the left, is the town of Campbellton. Beside Campbellton, you've got the Atlantic Ocean. Then after that is Canada. So from here, you are quite close to the Atlantic Ocean. Water out the front, straight in front, is called the Sound of Bute. That's part of the Gulf Stream. The Sound of Bute. Very deep water, very deep. And this is where today the Royal Navy does a lot of training and exercises here with frigate, minesweeper and submarine. Also in this stretch of water years ago, any big ships built on the Clyde, this is where they did part of their sea trials. All the queens were built on the Clyde. Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, Huey II, Lusitania, Britannia, all went through sea trials here. To your left, the Scottish blackface. Bred for the meat, not for the wool, no. Very poor quality wool, very poor. It's a very rough wool, very coarse. It's only good for things like carpets, rugs, furnishings. The yellow flower on the hedge on both sides is honeysuckle. Once we get to the top, out the front, away in the distance, is the hills of the Ayrshire coast. There you can see it through the mist. Looking out the front to the left, the point sticking out on the left side is the most southerly point of this island. The area is called Donegal. The point Garrochhead, that's where the ruins of the monastery to St. Blaine is. Yes. Now you see the length of Arran. As you look at Arran, go to the left of it. Right to the very end, there's a mountain sticking up at the end with a point. It does look as if it is part of Arran, it's not. That is an island on its own called the Holy Isle. The Holy Isle. Once we get to the top, out the front, away in the distance, is the hills of the Ayrshire coast. There you can see it through the mist. Looking out the front to the left, the point sticking out on the left side is the most southerly point of this island. The area is called Donegal. The point Garrochhead, that's where the ruins of the monastery to St. Blaine is. Yes. Now you see the length of Arran. As you look at Arran, go to the left of it. Right to the very end, there's a mountain sticking up at the end with a point. It does look as if it is part of Arran, it's not. That is an island on its own called the Holy Isle. The Holy Isle. Today is owned by the Buddhist monks. Out the front, straight in front of you, there's a big wooden fence with a gate. Down there is a farmhouse. That is where Lord Bute stays when he comes onto the island. Most people think he stays at Mount Stuart House. No. Today it is owned by the Buddhist monks. Out the front, straight in front of you, there's a big wooden fence with a gate. Down there is a farmhouse. That is where Lord Bute stays when he comes onto the island. Most people think he stays at Mount Stuart House. No. That was all given up years ago to a trust. He hasn't been on the island for over 2 years now. All this time is now in Switzerland. And I just heard last week he's not a well man. Nothing to do with COVID or anything like that, no. Here to your right, nice sandy bay, Scarborough Bay. If you look on your right, look back the way, it's very difficult to make it out. There's a big black seal lying on a rock down there. Fresh water lochs. 6. There's one out the front called the Queen Loch. Queen is Gaelic, which means the quiet loch. That is very good for brown trout. It is naturally stocked. At the top of the Queen, you've got a big field and you've got the largest of all the lochs on the island, Loch Fat, which means the long loch. That's good for rainbow trout. Close to Loch Fat is Loch Ascock. Loch Ascock supplies the town of Rothesay with drinking water. North of the island is the Poole. North of Edinburgh, and it runs right across Scotland. It goes right underneath Loch Lomond, right across, and then goes right underneath this island. Coming in from the left, goes out to the right, is split in the middle. This is the fault line, and we're just starting to cross the fault line now. Another name for the fault line is the boundary line. Right now, we are now leaving the Highlands of Scotland. We're now starting to cross the boundary and enter into the lowlands. So to me, you have gone from the Highlands down into the lowlands. Most of the farms on the island are owned by the state. There was some privately owned farms and there was some empty farms for a while. What the state have been doing with the empty farms, they've been demolishing the old barns, cowsheds. They've got to keep the farmhouse. The farmhouse is the listed building they've been building these holiday chalets, now inviting them out to visitors. There it is now, straight in front. There. Now, I know what you're thinking up the stairs. You see, I know these things because I'm psychic. Some people say psychotic. I'd probably agree. So you're thinking just now, Paul, that doesn't look a very old house to me. That looks quite modern. 6 years ago, it was an empty shell. It was all gutted out, rebuilt, new roof put on it, all faced off. Don't let the size deceive you in any way. The way this house is designed, inside this house, it has 5 kitchens. Yes, you heard me right. 5 kitchens. In there lives Mr. and Mrs. Kitchen, the 2 sons, and the one she cooks in. I like that what they do. Oh dear. You would never think on an island, an old graveyard is a very important person buried here. Do you know who's buried here? The chap who introduced the crossword. He's buried here. See the big column right in the middle? The big column. That's not his, but from that column, if you go 4 across and 3 down, that's his. Thank you. Johnny Dumfries, yes, he's the Earl of Dumfries. And that's where the Butes made a lot of their wealth. Just outside Dumfries, they own a huge quarry. And the Butes quarry and sell the stone. Today, if you go around the city of Glasgow, you will see a lot of the old tenement buildings come into the merchant city itself, and you'll see a lot of beautiful, very impressive buildings made of red sandstone. That all came from Locher bricks. Bute House. The Butes also financed the building of Glasgow University. The graduation halls is named after them, Bute Halls. supplied all the stone and paid for the building Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum. Also, the People's Palace was all funded, gifted by the Butes. On your right side now, you'll see the jetty. There it is. Over to your right, across the water, is the town of Largs. Down here, if you look out the front and go right over to the left corner, you'll get a quick glimpse of the big Tudor house, the Hermitage. The Hermitage. There it is coming into view now. Today the Hermitage is privately owned. It was owned by the state and it was occupied by Bute State Factor. The house went with a job. Sold 15 years ago, £650,000. You'll see a funny looking round building. It looks like a big aerial on the roof. It's actually a ventilating shaft. The building goes back to the early 1920s. It was built for the water company and they used it as a water screening chamber. The water board still have it today. There's the round building now straight in front. Round the next bend, you'll see the old Craigmore Pier and building. It first opened 1905. Last year's 1973. The building lay empty for a couple of years. It was then converted to a tea room and was a tea room up until 4 years ago. Today, private house. There it is now. The jetty sticking facing the sea, years ago there would be a big wooden jetty on the front of that, going right out, and this is where the steamers bring visitors to the island would first arrive. You would hear the skipper go, Craigmore Pier, next stop, Rothesay Pier.
Yeah. Meg. Jó? Csere! Ani! Gyertek ide!
Várjál, még nem elég világos. Most jobb?
Jó. Jesus Christ! Now!
전에 하고 싶습니다.